Now, our next guest is a familiar face on the panel, although she hadn't actually been in the studio with us for more than 10 years.
At least 10
more
years.
than 10 years. And you're in the wrong blooming chair. Kate Thornton.
What a day! What a day to be here. But this is loose, right?
It's about
we
time.
sit there and we react to what's going on in the world. That is nice to be back, Mickey.
Yeah,
It's great.
Yeah. Well, you know only too well, don't you, Kate? And, you know, that is the show. You know, we all
That is
sat
the
there
show.
for once in silence, which doesn't happen very often. Listening
Denise,
to that
not so
bulletin.
much.
Not so much, fair enough. I did hear her chattering away. Bit chattering away.
That doesn't count.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Well, mind it, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the three of you together, though.
There was some
lots of
the four of us.
naughties.
There was
It was
some
carnage.
Don't
wild
drag
times.
me in.
No, you were Miss Tweedy Knickers then. Do you remember?
Yeah.
But well, you know, you were chatting just earlier. Do you remember when I taught you how to do Instagram? Do you remember in the south of France?
You taught me Twitter and you taught me Instagram.
Who taught her Twitter?
That's all right.
How did you
Mickey.
do that, for God's sake?
Yeah, I'm not taking the responsibility for that.
No,
thank
it's
you.
Carol's fault.
But it is lovely to be back, ladies. Are you all good?
Yeah, we're good. You look amazing. How are you?
I'm all right.
How's that menopause of yours going?
She gets.
She didn't have it, of
Every
course,
time
Kate.
I've talked about it, she didn't have it.
Yeah, she didn't have
and
it.
she's so intolerant to it. She's the most.
Well, I have
intolerant.
had it, obviously.
Stop, you're so eye-rolly. Stop being so
No,
eye-rolly.
I'm not eye-rolling.
When I go, oh my goodness, I've had a pretty, as you know, Dan, because you listen. She does this.
Oh, here we go.
The thing about you is that I was relaying what you were saying to me, to Nadia, because until Nadia went, I said, you know, Nadia reckons she wasted 8 years of her life before going on HRT.
Do you know-
And I said to you about getting on it,
Well,
and then it changed for
Well,
you.
I sort of approached the menopause, I think, like I would approach a documentary. I just thought, right, it's controlling and consuming me, so I'm going to push back and I'm going to regain the control and actually inform myself. And then, now I've become like the font of all knowledge. So everybody phones me. I'm like, the menopause mini. Menopause helpline. I'm not joking. The other day, my friend Claire texted me going, is it right that we can get free prescriptions now? I'm like, I don't know. ask your GP.
How was it affecting you?
Okay. I mean, I think, you know, it's fair to say every woman has a different experience, but I feel like I lost me. I felt like I was mugged. And it happened in lockdown as well, which I think, so some of that I was like, well, is this being locked down? Is this, you know...
Yeah.
You just don't know. It stripped me of the personalities that I liked went, and 15 others kind of moved in. I didn't trust myself. I didn't know myself.
You had very foggy brain as well, didn't
yeah,
you?
weight gain, which you've now lost.
Oh, the weight gain, literally, it was like shallow hell. I just woke up one day like...
Well, are you through all of that now, Kate?
It was, suddenly my wardrobe became like a sort of torturous Narnia where I'd walk in and go, nothing from here. And it was horrible, and I wasn't eating anything different. I remember calling you just going, I just don't know what to do with myself. I was so weepy.
But you know what I loved is that the conversation that you had with Ben. You know, Kate, Kate has this wonderful child.
Well,
Who's
Ben,
your
who's
doppelganger?
13.
Absolutely. Poor Ben.
And
How old is Ben?
There he is.
he's 13.
13.
Tell us about that conversation that you felt you had to have with Ben about it.
Well, especially because I was going through this in lockdown, and so it was just the two of us, right? Single mum. And he is entering, you know, he was starting to have conversations with me. Oh, I hope he doesn't mind me saying this on telly. Sorry, Ben. About sort of, he's having feelings that he didn't understand, and as he
going into puberty,
and I'm like, well, that's hormones. And actually, I'm kind of doing that. I said, like, as you're driving into this stage in your life, I've literally got the car in reverse going up the driveway, doing it by way of... It is in reverse, right? So we had this conversation, and I think, you know, it's brilliant. He should know about the menopause. Everyone should know about the menopause. And I was just chatting with somebody outside here, my old makeup artist, right? And she's like, yeah, there needs to be more of this, more of that. And I'm like, everybody needs to know more about it. But then understood that she didn't know enough about it.
Yeah.
And I think just we can make decisions about treatments or not having treatments if we know.
But what did you say to Ben? What did you say to a 13-year-old boy?
That I'm all over the place, that I don't mean to be like that sometimes. It's
And what
my
did Ben
hormones.
say? You're always like that, Mummy.
No, he was good. Do you know what I mean? I mean, you can love a friend, and then there's a fine line, isn't there?
Anyway, Kate, Carol has asked me to take the subject away from menopause because she's had enough of that
she's bored of it now.
Yeah, we always talk about
So
it.
I want to ask you about your
There
new
she is, look
radio.
at the eye roll.
A new radio show.
I want to ask you about your new radio show.
Do you know what, Gloria? I always think, when I got this show, so it's on Greatest Hits, I'm doing Saturday night, so I'm back to doing Saturday night entertainment. And I'm playing The Real Thing for you and Nothing for you because you've not been very nice.
Well, but I mean,
I will play something.
So is it a bit
Kate,
clubby?
Can you choose your own music? I want to ask you about the
DJ
content.
plays, but
Kate,
you know,
she can't dance anyway. There's no point.
that's why I want to do it, because she's so bad.
So what time's your show?
7 till 10, Greatest Hits, biggest songs from the 70s, 80s and 90s. I do get DJ plays, but I'm going in there after this, and I always think of Gloria because I did a show about Gloria's extraordinary life, and she's the reason why we female presenters at Radio 2 have access to a female toilet, because when Gloria joined, she was the only woman in the building.
Really?
And
So
she had nowhere to go for a wee.
It was a sharer. But what's interesting, because you mentioned BBC, when I first started, my grandchildren are very impressed that I used to spin vinyl myself.
Yeah.
And then it went to CDs, and then it went to this huge contraption in the basement of the BBC.
Now it's touch
So
screen.
you just pressed a number then, so you sort of lost all that contact. Do you get to choose your music or not?
Yeah, well, not all of it, but I get DJ
Some of it.
choices, just like you do on BBC Radio. So I've lined some up for Saturday night. I will be playing some tunes for Carol.
You better.
Because, you know what, we spent a lot of time together last year, and
Yeah.
we danced a lot, and your
Oh.
dancing's got loads better, babe.
No, no, it hasn't.
It has.
No, it
It's
hasn't.
almost a
Better.
rhythm. It's
No,
got
it
better.
hasn't.
I mean,
Well, it was a low bar, wasn't it?
I mean, it's on the floor.
Can I just ask you, though, of all your loose women, and people ask me this and it drives me mad, so I'm sorry I'm doing it to you. Who was your favourite ever guest or the most impactful guest on Loose Women?
George Michael.
George Michael.
Do you remember?
Do you remember when he rang the show?
with him.
He rang the show.
He rang the show.
To talk to Kate.
To talk to me, live on air. So it came in
Seriously?
an ad break, Kay.
Right.
And the exec came on and went, don't tell the other women. So you're like this on the ad break, you know. But George Michael's on the line. I'm like, what? I'm the biggest fan.
Yeah.
And anyway, so he phoned the show. I asked him to marry me. Kind of came to an arrangement. And then at the end of the show, the producer came over and he was like, George has left his number for you. And I was like, no, don't give it to me. If I drink and dial, can you imagine? And so then, embarrassingly, he phoned George Michael back and went, she's a bit embarrassed in case she has a few too many and phoned you, so here's her number, just call her any time. So we did, right?
Wow.
I just finished doing this morning, I was covering for Holly, and I'm going driving from the old ITV Towers round the big IMAX roundabout, and the phone goes, and I'd just done the show with Peter Andre. Answer, unknown number, hello. Hey, it's me, the singing Greek. And I was like, oh, all right, you're still at the studio? He went, no, I'm in the bar. And I went, in Philip Schofield's dressing room. He went, who do you think this is? I said, Peter Andre. He went, how dare you? It's George Michael. That was the beginning of a love affair.
That is a good story. That is a good story. Listen, well, you know what it's like. We've got to crack
Yeah, you've
on.
got to go.
It's been absolutely lovely to have you here,
Thank you,
Kate.
ladies. Nice to be back.
Absolutely.